Okay, so here's a story. I got home from work and I get dressed and I put on my gym clothes because I'm gonna go work out. And I get to the gym. It's the apartment gym, so it's right downstairs. Walk across the street, boom, I'm there. I've never been here before. I walk in, and even before the door shuts on my way into the gym, some older guy, some short, stocky, big belly, had a tattoo on his face. I believe it was a blue dragon. I'm not sure. He greets me. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He seemed pretty chipper, and I'm very outgoing. I mean, if anyone says hi to me, I'll talk to you. There's just no doubt about it. I will talk to you. Me and this dude had a conversation for a good hour. I was doing reps and stuff in between it. I had brought headphones. I was going to listen to music, but this guy was way more interesting. And it turns out that this dude used to be homeless. He was a vet. He says he suffers from severe depression, and he comes to the gym twice a day just to kind of chill. You get free Wi-Fi, hang out. He does live here. He lives in the complex now because his GI Bill finally hit, is what he tells me. And just all of these stories that this guy is telling me. And it could be complete bullshit, but he just seems so nice and genuine, and just like, he showed me some scars and stuff, and I know the scars can be fake too, but just everything seemed to fit the narrative of this guy. But he's like, "Man, yeah, I was homeless for a couple years, 2 years. I was living in my car." I'm like, did you work? How come you couldn't work? He's like, "I was working. I was doing Uber. I was driving my car 7 hours a day, 7 days a week." And I was like, "Oh, well, that seems pretty good. Well, how much money did you make?" It's like, "It was around $750, 800." I'm like, "That's not bad per week. That's pretty good." He's like, "Yeah, but sleeping in the car, it's not enough money to. It's not sufficient enough money to live in an apartment and buy good food and yada yada yada. Thus being why I have a huge gut." And he had a pretty good gut, so all he was doing was driving, then eating fast food, and then sleeping in his car. And remind you that this dude was a vet. Like, he's got military background. And this happens to so many of them. We know that. We know this is an issue. That there's so many homeless people that are vets. They put their fucking life on the line for us. And it's just sickening to see that CEOs, have enough money to buy 15 fucking yachts, 18 houses that no one lives in, yada yada yada. But then you got these vets that are just chilling on street corners, like, out there to die. There's nothing wrong with that. Capitalism, man. There's got to be a happy fucking median. And I get the notion that when you work hard, you deserve money. Sure, I understand that. However, there's got to be a meeting point. There's got to be a median. What the fuck can Mr. Bezos, Mr. Amazon, worth $1 billion? Like, what's the end goal, man? Monopolize everything? What's the end goal? One person does not need that fucking much money, dude. And then complain about being taxed. Like, dude, I'm making $50K being taxed. Like, we're all humans. We're all in this together. And I'm one of the first ones to give money out of my fucking paycheck to a homeless dude. Or just like Girl Scout cookies, yada yada yada, It's like, you can't take money with you. When you die, you cannot take money with you. I get that. Let's live luxurious while we can. Blah, 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 blah. That's nice. How much money do you actually need? Money's not a... Money will not give you the mindset of being happy. You can have billions of dollars, but guess what he did? He fucking cheated on his wife, right? Who does that? He didn't cheat on his wife when he wasn't a billionaire, so what? Does it create opportunity to do things like that? Seems like money creates a lot of evil situations. Money can buy you things that'll make you happy for a moment. You gotta know who the fuck you are. You gotta find hobbies that you enjoy. Be active. Money can help you. If you have money and you use it as a tool, yeah, you can be very successful and have the happiest life. It's all about your mindset, though. All about it. Gotta be a positive person. I thrive on that shit. I have been kicked down so many times. I have been through so much shit. I can't even fathom. It's okay, so like when I was young, got arrested a few times. Yeah. I wasn't good at school. Yeah. So back then I wasn't thinking about my future. It's so hard to think about a future when you're going through high school and your hormones are raging and it's a social community. Like, the last thing you want to do is fucking learn. Sure, there's some outliers, I know that, who are like the top of their class, valedictorian. They understand this. They developed faster. They had a good brain. They had good parenting. I don't know what it is. They just understood this. Majority of us, we don't. We go to high school, party our asses off, rebel, because that's human nature, experiment with drugs and shit, and then at the end of high school, they want you to make a decision to fucking go to a college. Dude, there's no way that you are mature enough to make a decision like that. There is no way. There is absolutely no way that you are mature enough to make a decision like that at 17, 18 years old with your hormones raging to make a lifelong decision like that, because this fucking debt follows you forever. I'm 30 years old. I will be dead before this shit gets paid off. Let's just say that. I have deferred so many times on my fucking student loan. I think it's like $60K, which is nothing compared to a lot of other people that I know. But still, I can't even fucking make that payment, dude. So, what are we doing? It's like, you pick a college, and I'm just going on a tangent here. This wasn't the original plan, but this is a good learning point. You pick a college, and you sign yada yada yada. You sign your life away, because the bills will stick forever. And then you finish college. You're promised all these things. You're promised a job. You're promised, you'll be able to pay this shit. You won't get your foot in the door if you don't have a college degree, etc., etc. You get your degree. What's the first job you get? Probably not in the fucking field that you just got your degree in. And you're making, I don't know, what, like $30,000 before tax. So after tax, $23K, which is fucking like minimum wage. And now they want you to pay back for school at like $300 a month. So how are you supposed to pay that back? Provide food for yourself, a place to live, gas for your car, buy a fucking car, and do things. You know what I mean? Like, have some hobbies. So you're not just like working just to pay bills, because that's not a life to live. Fuck that. No, there's no way. Not working just to pay bills and that's it. That's insane. That's not what life is. So, back to the point, all the way back, about when I was in high school. I didn't do good. I didn't get good grades. Bombed on the ACT. That was fucking amazing. Partied so hard the day before. And that was just irresponsible of me. I get that. That was super irresponsible of me. I applied for a bunch of colleges, didn't get into a single one. Ended up going to a community college shortly after high school. Dropped out of that because I just fucking hated school. Absolutely hated it. For me, it was like trying to teach a fish to climb a tree. It's just not gonna happen. I'm more of an active person, and this shit is just sitting at a desk, not being interactive, just writing on the board a bunch of nonsense. It's not how I'm gonna learn. Everything is so standardized. It's like you're not giving us a chance to fucking learn. Everyone learns different. You can't standardize this shit. You're not giving. It's basically like, okay, so if something were to click in someone's head that can cure cancer, but you're not teaching him the way that he learns efficiently, awesome. Now we just lost out on the cure for cancer for another 10 years or 15 years. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't just teach one way. You cannot. It's not fair. Life isn't fair. We know that. But enough about that rant. What about the news? Right? Everything on the news you see is just bad news. Because that shit sells. Bad news sells. And that's just straight facts right there. Like, I often think about alternate universes and, like, if some things weren't the way they were. For example, what if there was a news channel that was all good news? Would that give everyone a different mindset? And I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's like everything you see on the news is another black dude just like getting arrested or yada yada yada. Another black dude's like going to prison because it was a shooting. I live in Chicago, so it's all you fucking see. So what does that do? When the media pushes that shit out, it makes us more frightened of black people. And that's not at all the fucking case. That's not fair at all. That's not how it is. Dude, I work with a bunch of African Americans. Cool as shit. It's not the people you see on the fucking news. You rarely see any white people on the news like being talked bad about or fucking being arrested. It's so one-wayed. It's like big money runs this shit. Big money runs these programs. The news. Big money runs the news, so it's the trickle-down effect, right? You're not gonna get real news. There's no way. People want to keep you scared. The top of the food chain wants to keep you scared and keep you in line, and they know exactly what they're doing. There's no doubt about it. Maybe I'm completely wrong, though. I don't know. This is the curiosity chamber. I could be completely wrong. I'm just spitballing, shooting this shit. This is just one perspective. Have you ever just looked at yourself in the mirror? Just like stared at yourself in the mirror? Weird thoughts come. It's like, holy shit, dude, I'm actually a fucking human. Then, not often, but sometimes I like to, I don't know if it's fantasize. Probably not. Just kind of think outside of the box, in a sense. It's like, how do you know this is real? And it's one of those questions that it's like, this feels real. This is all, like, no one can answer that for me. You can't. It's like, what if we're all, and this is just way out there, but what if I'm in a coma and this is that dream state? How the fuck do you know? You don't know. So guess what? So then it's like, well, if you think that, if you even play with the idea, what keeps you going? Why even wake up? Why yada yada yada? Why keep going? If you think that. I like it here, dude. It's fine. I like it here. It's like, just keep pushing it, man. Ride the fucking wave, dude. Ride the wave. I like it. I'm happy. I'm optimistic. The world is your oyster, right? So, in a sense, it's kind of a game to me. It's like a big game. Like I'm starting at the bottom. Grinding. I'm going to try and make it up there. Just in my mind. And there hasn't been a day of rest where I'm like, oh man, maybe I won't be financially stable. Maybe I won't be able to provide for my family and give them a better life. Like, that never has crossed my mind yet, ever. In my mind, I know something's going to happen. I'm going to keep grinding. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm destined for good things. I know this. I'm destined for good things. It's just how my mind works. Have you ever had a head injury at a young age? Actually, yes, I have. That's also really trippy to talk about too, because this injury that I had at such a young age, what if it changed my whole course of life? Creepy to think about. Yo, what happened? What was the story? What happened? Alright, you talked me into it. When I was really young. I was like 1 or 2 years old. I was in one of those walkers, like a baby walker. So like you sit down, your feet come out, and there's a circle ring around you. And you walk around, right? And I was unsupervised. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I was at the top of the stairs, and I just went bam, 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 bam. Teetered hard for a bit and just fell all the way down. Busted my face. Looked like a broken nose and a black eye, and you know that my head smashed a couple times. And I mean, we should have known that head injuries are dangerous, but now all of a sudden with the new information now, it's like changes the course of life, man. Changes the way you think. It's like redecorates your brain. It's like, so maybe my perspective now is just completely different than what it once was. I'll never know though. I was too young. I'll never know. So I don't know if that's the reason why I was unmotivated in high school. Probably not. I think it was just because of drugs and my hormones freaking out. But it's interesting to think about. Super interesting to think about. What else is very interesting to me is that I take a train to work every day, Monday through Friday. And it's the craziest shit that I see. Now it's just the craziest shit that I see. You want to know what I see? This is all that I see. That's it. That's all you see. Just people. It literally looks like like if we could see some kind of like universe that's not there, or some kind of like 3D of just like the mind attached to the phone. It's like, it's insane. That's it. Just so lost in their phones, so lost in technology. We're at a time where we're the most capable of being social because we can reach literally anybody in the world. But at the very same time, we're super antisocial. Like, no one fucking talks to anybody. Like, you don't get this. Like, what I'm doing right now, just chatting away, and what I was doing at the gym with the vet guy, you don't see that shit. You don't. Everyone's just on their phones, just talking to someone else. Just like, brains are moving so goddamn fast. Like, chill out. Like, find it in the day to, like, just put your phone away for at least an hour. Have your own thoughts. That's what's happening. When you're so deep in your phone, like, those aren't your thoughts, dude. You're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter. And it's everyone else's negative thoughts just like ambushing your brain, and you're reading this shit, and then you feel negative because everyone's so goddamn negative on social media. It's like, fuck, why? Why does everyone have to be so negative? And I get it. Some of it's pretty goddamn funny. A lot of it's funny, but a lot of people are sensitive as hell, though. Like, I feel bad for comedians now. Like, anything they say is just so under the microscope. It's like, holy shit, dude. It wasn't like this, 10 years ago? 15 years ago? Not at all, dude. You can bullshit. We all know what's going on. Just fucking have a laugh. Now, everyone's so sensitive. Just can't fucking say that. Can't fucking say that. Oh. Damn shame. But I think we're growing. I think the reason behind that is just because social media is so brand new that no one knows how to fucking react, in a sense. That we're trying to overcome it, in a sense. We're trying to overcome this. There's just so much information. And everyone knows that, bullying is so bad and no one wants their feelings hurt, blah, 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 blah. And people are trying to be, like, super sensitive. Hypersensitive, right? That's fine. I guess you'd rather have hypersensitivity than people that just don't give a fuck. Like, just all-out anarchy. Just... So that we can work through it. Hypersensitivity, we can work through it. We're moving the right way, I guess. Just gotta lighten up. Everyone's opinions matter, yes, but should they all be heard? I don't think so. A lot of people just bullshit. A lot of people like to be miserable. And now what happens when they have a fucking voice? Misery loves company. So guess what? When this person's fucking miserable, someone else is gonna hop on that bandwagon. And soon enough, now you have a fucking army of just mad, batshit crazy bitches that are just rambling about nothing. Like, if you had a fucking job and hobbies, you would not be doing this shit. Like, I count the days that social media just fucking, like, just gets clipped. Maybe not permanently, but I don't know, a good chunk of time. Maybe like fucking half a year. See what happens. I mean, some shit would get cleaned up. Like all these fake ass Instagram comedians. That's fine. They're not hurting anyone. I get that. But I think a lot of people on social media are fake as fuck. Call it how I see it. I don't know. But that's going to do it for this session. I appreciate you guys for tuning in for the very first epi. The plan is to get some interviews going here. Good deep conversations, topics, dig real deep, real fucking deep. There won't be another just me by myself. It's kind of hard rambling about yourself when there's like no perspective. It's all just me. I don't like that because I like to hear from other people. I like to get a different perspective because I've only walked in my shoes. So what do I really know? Not much. Not much at all. So it's beneficial to get some other people on here. So that's what we're going to work for. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next episode.